up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to turn one-handed. So let's get right into it. There are a few main turns. So first, how to hold it. This is pretty important. Let's get right into it. So you put your thumb right here on this center, and put your middle finger back here on this edge, ring finger down here. That leaves these two fingers open for turning. So you're going to use them to turn the R and U layers. So it's a little weird at first, but you'll kind of have to get used to it, starting with the U turns. So from here, U would be done like this. So see, U is you put your finger on this back corner and move it to the front, just like this from a side angle. So try doing it a few times. Pretty good. For U prime, this is the harder one. For U and R, there's one easy turn and one hard turn. So for U prime, that's a harder one, and there are two main ways of doing it. There's flick style, which is you move your finger to the front like this and push it back. It's kind of weird, but just try it a few times and it gets kind of good. And then the one I use, because I don't really practice one-handed except for this turn, is push style, where you put it around this edge, like around this corner, and kind of push it back. I kind of have to re-grip my middle finger to the green center for this. But what I do is put it on this edge and move back. So you do have to re-grip your middle finger from here to do that, or at least it's just the way I do it. So it's U prime, or flick style, doesn't really matter. Flick style you don't have to re-grip, except for moving it to the front. So that's the main reason why I don't use it, and it also kind of hurts my finger a little bit more. It's kind of weird. Yeah. And then there's U2, which you don't re-grip your middle finger and then do U2. You just do U, and that's the best way to do U2. At least for the beginner. And then, so for R, the easiest turn for R is just R, which is, you have your pinky back on this back corner. See that one? The very back. And what you do is you move it up. So you'll move it up here. That's this R. Try doing it a few times. And it works pretty well. If you use your right hand, you just do L prime. U prime, U. Just mirror everything I do if you use your right hand. It's another note. So there's U prime, R, and then R prime. And this one turn is the main reason why most people don't do one-handed. So you don't re-grip your middle finger, your pointer finger all the way up to the top and then push it down, because that's really slow. Instead, what you do is you still have your pinky on this back corner and you push up. It's really hard at first, but just do R, R prime, R, R prime, R. Or you can kind of like what I do is kind of like get my pinky fingernail. I don't know if you can see, like I get my nail kind of like not inside, but like right at the line between this corner and this edge. So that my pinky finger is like closer to this corner, but still on this edge. So like around there. And that kind of helps. So what I'll do is do just the R prime U prime trigger a few times. I'll do it a few times using flick style for U-turns, sometimes doing push. And there's not really a flick style for R prime, because I'm trying to do it. I've never, there. That's my first time doing flick style R prime. It's super hard to re-grip your pinky up to the front. So it's just way easier toward the R prime. Even if it's hard at first, it's easier, trust me. It's even easier, even though it's still super hard. So what you do here, just R, U, R prime, U prime, using flick style first, or push style first, doesn't really matter. Just finish that. Just do that. Then I would use push style for U-turns. So you kind of will need to regrip your middle finger, and it's hard at first. For that push U. But this is the one I use. So I want to just do maybe a few algorithms like soon. I actually use soon with the. Let me show you. So R standard, U. The first one I use flick style, R prime. To kind of regrip and do the next U prime with push style instead of use, and then R U2 just using use R prime. And then yeah, that's pretty good. So H prime is a tough one if you actually use C flop. And you have to use a table, but my table's all the way down here. So I'm not really going to be able to. If you don't want to use table, you can just do M2 as just wide R2 or 2, but that's kind of hard, so I just actually use a table during it. So like with anything with M and U, you just use a table, seriously, because you're allowed to. Anyway, that's pretty much it. You might just want to kind of get used to it. The main other thing is, how do you do L, B, and D turns, and F as well? F is pretty big. So I taught you R and U, but I didn't teach you anything else. So you'll need to rotate if you want to do one of those turns. So what you do is, so there are 3 types of rotations. There's Z rotations, which are clockwise. Yeah, this would be Z. Z prime be that way. There's X, which is face the bottom, X prime. And there's Y, which is side rotations. So it's Z, X, Y. That's the order of rotations. Z is the best because it's super easy. You just kind of slide all your fingers over. But your thumb doesn't even move, so you're still holding the cube for the whole rotation. So Z is the best rotation. X is next. X isn't that bad, but it's still worse than Z. Better than Y, though. Y is the worst because you have to regrip your entire hand. So for X rotations, you still hold it in your hand. See this? You still hold it in your hand. Y, it's a lot harder because you kind of have to. You don't hold it in your hand as well. So Z, X, Y is the order rotation. For L turn, you just do it as Z, and then you do it as U. So it's still pretty easy. That's L. The next one is F. And so for F, you do an X rotation. So just do X, and then do it as U turns. So it's kind of easy. Also easy, not as good as L, but still pretty good. D, what I do is you can do a Z prime and do it as R, but what I do is so holding it in this position, I actually use my middle finger for D turns. I'm really good at E perms doing that pretty fast, and you need to watch my ring finger. See those turns? Watch that. And a square one, you kind of do. You really have to rely on your ring finger, your left ring finger for E perms, doing that pretty fast. And then square one, that's pretty important. Knowing how to do that is really important. So I'm actually able to do it, not really regripping at all. So I'm able to do it like this. But most people would rotate Z prime. Wait, no, Z. Yeah, it's Z prime. And then just do R. The exact same one. Instead, just D. But that's the way I do it. In case you're able to. If you're good at square one or E perms, doing those fast, then you could just do it like this. I mean, square one, if you average a minute, you should be able to do this. And E perms, if you do them sub 2 seconds, you should be able to do this as well. So the last turn is just B. And what I do is rotate X prime and then do it as U. You don't really need to be able to do that fast, except maybe cross. You don't really use it for any other step. Wide R, done pretty easy. All you have to do is just So slide your thumb from the center to this edge and slide your ring finger back. And then you can use your pinky as wide R frame. The same way you just do normal R tricks. Wide U, similar thing. Regrip your thumb from the center to this bottom edge. Middle finger from here to here. And then you can use your index finger. Even though it's a little harder for U prime, sometimes what I do for U prime is actually like do a completely different push style. Normally I would do like this for push style, but I do this for push style. Yeah, you would do wide F just by rotating from here down, and then do like wide U, which I just showed you. Same way. And then, so that's actually it. You wouldn't use like wide B, not wide D really. You would just do that the same way, just rotate. Like, I would actually hold like this for wide D. You don't really need to, but that's how I do it. And then like, you don't use wide L either. That's just something that you don't do. Because it's just kind of dumb and useless. You don't need to learn it. Or wide B. Just like double moves, you would just do like R2, you would do R, 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 R. And then with M moves, you would kind of need to do it with a table. I'm not able to show you because my table's all the way down here. So yeah, that's actually it. There's basics one-handed. I use all of these tricks and I averaged maybe a little over a minute one-handed using this cube. It's actually a smaller cube. I would recommend that for one-handed for a while. I can use normal cubes, I'm just not as good with it because I have smaller hands. I'm 11, so I don't have huge hands. That's it, actually. So this is it for one-handed, for just the finger tricks and everything. So that's it from me for now. I will see you guys next time. And like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want more content like this. And also make sure to ring the bell to get notified when I upload another tutorial or another video. And that's it. See you guys next time. And bye.